There are ancient legends across many cultures that tell of a demon or deity that feed on the blood of the living. These tales, with the belief that the dead could rise again, gave way to one of our most well-known monsters, a being so powerful and charismatic that you could easily become their next meal. This monster's complexity has inspired media for centuries, and will continue as humans remain under the trance of vampires.
Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams,
where we watch and dissect your favorite spooky movies.
I'm your host, Alex.
And Stephanie.
And this is a mostly horror podcast.
Each week we will rank 13 movies on a scariness scale from, you guessed it, 1 to 13.
We will uncover the real-life myths and legends that inspire these movies, and tell you just how authentic they are.
This week we find a cure in I Am Legend.
So, Stephanie.
Alex.
Have you seen I Am Legend before watching it for the podcast?
Yeah, a few years ago, and I had to say that when you first suggested this for our vampire season, I was like, those are zombies.
I know. I was on the fence about it, but I thought it'd be very interesting just because of the background of the whole book movie debacle. And I mean, they do exhibit very zombie, but also vampiric characteristics. So
yeah, and actually now that going in, watching it for a second time with that sort of vampire lens, I can definitely see your point. I was like, yeah, I would say that they are more like vampires than zombies. Especially the fact that they kind of think for themselves, even though they're not articulate, but we see that they can come together and do things, which isn't like a normal zombie thing.
No, they're like one step up from the zombie. They think and they can make decisions and not just like mindless. However, they are very aggressive, and it seems like they just attack just because, but everything at least seems very calculated.
Yeah.
So just because they're very mean and violent doesn't mean they're not a vampire.
Right. And almost every time that you see them attack, they go for the neck.
Go for the jugular.
Yeah.
Because they know what's up.
Right.
So what did you have it ranked as?
I had it ranked as a 5.
5. I had it as a 6, so we were very close.
Yeah.
Did you find it scary?
I just felt bad for the dog.
Oh, I know. I remembered about that scene, but I didn't. I remember, but also kind of repressed it, and then the scene started happening. I'm like, ah, shit.
Yeah. Doggy dying is not okay.
We should have checked doesthedogdie.com.
Yeah.
Because spoiler alert.
I mean, as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do it again.
Did you close your eyes during it, or did you watch it?
No, I watched it because I had to see all the characteristics
of the
vampire doggies.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. The things we do for this podcast.
Yeah. But there should be an expected protocol that when a dog dies in a movie, you should protest and be can't watch it again.
Protest?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I talked about this movie off topic, but A Dog's Purpose. I told you about this
movie.
Oh,
yes.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I was in tears.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah, no, I can't take that.
I've never cried that much. I'm not even kidding you. The second the dog died for the first time, from then to the end.
Right.
It was nonstop.
And you see this dog die multiple times.
Over and over.
And it doesn't get any easier.
They're let's make a movie about a dog dying over and over again.
Yeah.
Who did this?
There's actually an older movie called Fluke. Did you ever watch it as a kid?
No.
This is completely unrelated to vampires.
That's okay. I need to know.
But it's a reincarnation movie like that, except it is a man that was killed in an automobile accident and comes back to Earth as a dog. And then he goes and protects his family from bad things and lives out his life as a puppy.
Oh, okay. It's what's that show? 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowd. Remember that on Nickelodeon?
No.
It was this kid or something, a guy. I don't know. Anyways, he was bad. And he got turned into a dog, and he had to complete 100 deeds in order to...
Yeah, similar in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do a dog season, Stephanie.
Yeah.
So scary.
Reincarnation puppies.
I promise, this is the scariest season.
Oh, yeah.
Just so we could cover dog movies.
Yes, please.
Although, if they're sad, we're just going to be Marley and me crying.
Oh, no. Yeah. No.
But anyways, I Am Legend. Do you want to hear some background on I Am Legend?
Sure.
Before I start this, I have 3 pages of notes. I'm going to summarize this as much as possible because the making of this movie was a fucking shit show.
I had no idea.
It was insane. So I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this.
Okay.
Just know it was just bad. It was all bad. We'll summarize it at the end.
Yeah.
But I Am Legend is a 2007 American post-apocalyptic action thriller film loosely based on the 1954 novel of the same name by Richard Matheson. It was directed by Francis Lawrence from a screenplay by Akiva Goldsman and Mark Protovich. Last names. The film stars Will Smith as a US Army virologist.
This sounds like a made-up title. Huh?
What he does is study viruses.
Yes.
Robert Neville is our character. It is set in New York City after a virus, which was originally created to cure cancer, but it has wiped out most of mankind, leaving Neville as the last human in New York. The film received generally positive reviews, with Smith's performance being singled out for praise, while criticism focused on the divergences from the novel, which is it is not even the same thing.
Yeah.
The concept is the same, post-apocalyptic, it's just him, but everything else is completely different. And then they also criticized the ending. In 2022, a sequel was revealed to be in development, with Smith set to reprise his role as Neville, and co-produced the film with Michael B. Jordan, who will also have a starring role.
Oh. How are they going to bring Will Smith back, though?
So, do you know anything about the alternative ending that happened?
No.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it when we get to the ending, because there is a whole ass different ending that happened.
Oh, damn. All right.
So maybe they're going to make that canon.
Maybe.
Which is closer to, the book. Not the ending of the book, but, what happens.
Okay.
We'll see. So a little bit on the background of this whole mess of a script movie thing going on. Warner Brothers got the rights to develop this movie in 1995. Mind you, there's 2 other movies based on I Am Legend. Called Omega Man or something else. Anyways, doesn't really matter. Point being, they were trying to make this movie back in 95, and Mark Protovich, the guy we talked about, wrote the original script, right? Mm-hmm. So his first draft took place in 2000 in San Francisco and contained many similarities with the finished film, though the Darkseekers, which are the zombie vampire things, were much more civilized, and one of them even joined forces with Neville. So they were more human-like.
Right.
Could
be reasoned with.
Yeah. Actors Tom Cruise, Michael Douglas, and Mel Gibson were considered to star in the film using the script with Ridley Scott as the director, but by June 1997, the studio's preference was for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
So they're like, never mind, we want this guy.
Fuck you guys.
So Scott had the screenplay redone basically with someone of his own choosing, John Logan, with whom he spent months of intensive work on a number of different drafts. So the Scott Logan version of I Am Legend was a mix of sci-fi and psychological thriller with no dialogue.
What?
With no dialogue in the first hour, with a more somber ending.
Jesus. Pretty somber.
Yeah, it gets worse apparently. So I don't know. So they redid the script now with someone completely new. So the creatures in Logan's version were similar to the Darkseekers of the finished film in their animalistic barbaric nature. The studio feared its lack of commercial appeal and merchandising potential. So after that draft, Warner Brothers reassigned Mark to the project, reluctantly working with Scott again. So this was before 1997 still. So it was called into question because of the budget inflation. Long story short, they scrapped it in March of 1998.
Okay.
Now, March 2002, Schwarzenegger became the producer of I Am Legend, commencing negotiations with Michael Bay to direct it and Will Smith to star in the film. So Schwarzenegger was part of the production, but not starring in it anymore.
Okay.
So basically, it goes throughout the years, all the way to 2004, 2005, 2006. They're working on the project. Different directors. Guillermo del Toro was asked. Francis Lawrence was asked. So Goldsman took on the project as he admired the second I Am Legend film adaptation called The Omega Man. A rewrite was done to distance the project from other zombie films inspired by the novel, as well as from the recently released 28 Days Later, although Goldman was inspired by the scenes of a deserted London in the British horror film to create the scenes of a deserted New York City.
So we're on the 4th or 5th rewrite?
There was more. I just kind of skimmed through it. They just kept rewriting the script, which is why it's so different from the book. So long story short, elements from the original script were introduced, but they also consulted experts on infectious diseases and solitary confinement. Rewrites continued throughout filming because of Smith's improv skills and Lawrence's preference to keep virus scenes silent. So eventually the movie was made through all that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Did the author not like the film?
Probably not. I actually don't know. I doubt it because it's very
different from what he created.
Yeah, because like in the book, they're like vampires. Like they even are
kind of like called that.
Yeah, they're repelled by garlic, crucifixes.
Oh.
Some of the vampires you could talk to, and there's one that the main character actually meets and talks to, and then the ones that were dead already, or more zombie-like, I guess you could say, they're more animalistic, but there are like very traditional vampires. If you even look at the covers of I Am Legend, vampires. So, under all of this, these night dark seekers are vampires. Truly, they are, but very different. Because
it's just hard to discern, I guess, unless you are going in expecting them to be vampires, I guess.
Because, when I first saw it, I was like, zombies.
Yeah.
Because they act more like zombies, but...
They create hordes like zombies, but then, But then if you imply the vampire characteristics, you're like, oh, I see. I see what you mean.
Now, when we get to the ending, you'll really be like, oh, okay. The alternative ending, should I say.
Oh, all right.
Yes. So, that's that. Do you want to get into the plots?
Yeah, sure. So, in 2009, an attempt to cure cancer by revamping the measles vaccine turns deadly for the majority of the world's population, and leaving those it doesn't kill as vampire-like mutant cannibals called Dark Seekers to prey on the few left that are not infected. In 2012, Robert Neville, a US Army Virologist, LTC, lives as a sole survivor in a deserted Manhattan with his dog Sam as his only companion. In order to have some sense of normalcy, he has a daily routine in which he hunts deer, experiments on rats to find a cure, raids various locations for supplies, and sends out a radio broadcast for any remaining survivors to meet him at South Street Seaport when the sun is highest.
This poor man.
I know. You can just tell how sad he is.
Uh-huh.
But I love his relationship with Sam.
Every time we talk about anything in the plot, we're like, but Sam.
Oh, I actually did find out, like, when I was watching the video, sometimes how Amazon Prime has those little fun facts that pop up alongside. I guess Will Smith was so in love with the dog, he tried to buy it off the trainer. But she refused because,
let him have the dog.
I mean, I get it, though. Like, a lot goes into a dog, and she was probably bonded with the dog as well.
Oh, yeah, I know. But,
yeah.
Sam.
But he was like, I like this doggy. This is a good dog.
I know. It is a very cute relationship. I mean, could you imagine without the dog? He'd be way more of a mess. Yeah,
he wouldn't have known how to communicate with anybody, because he almost talks to Sam as if she's his child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he makes her eat her vegetables and gives her a bath when she doesn't.
I mean, he probably projects that because we'll get into
of the relationship, yeah.
So he probably is projecting that fatherly figure to the poor little bubby.
Sam's a good girl.
Yeah. I don't know if you put it in the notes, but the whole Samantha part.
Yeah.
Samantha. Who's Samantha?
Yeah. I think when I first watched it, I only knew it was a girl going in because in that fun fact thing, they said that the dog's name was Abby. So I was like, oh, well, Sam's a girl.
It was weird. It was like played to be kind of like a surprise twist. Like it matters what the gender
of the dog is. Yeah, but
I'm like, okay.
No, it was funny. Samantha, you get up. I was like, oh, Jesus, all right. Sorry. In his free time, he talks to mannequins in local stores and listens to Bob Marley. But every night, Robert must ensure no dark seekers follow them home and barricades himself and Sam in his Washington Square Park home. We also learn through several flashbacks that Robert had a wife and daughter who were killed in a helicopter crash while trying to evacuate the island.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
It is, because we flash back to it a couple times. Yeah, so they're like escaping and then they go off into the helicopter. And then, like, another helicopter runs into that helicopter.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds?
Well, somebody was trying, I think the other helicopter that crashed into them lost control because you could sort of see people, like, hanging off the very bottom of it. So, like, people had, like, broken through the barrier and kind of overwhelmed that helicopter.
Oh, yeah, I saw what happened.
Yeah.
But the odds it
crashed
perfectly hit another one. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It was messy.
They were, like, halfway out of there because they were, like, it was right when this was all going down and they were evacuating and just like they were clear to go and then you got to see Sam as a baby.
Yeah,
she's like, here, take a dog.
Oh, yeah, it was so cute. His daughter's like, Sam, you take care of daddy, and I was like, she did. She does. She does take care of him.
I can't. But yeah, so that's I think why he takes care of the dog so much because his daughter gave it to him.
Yeah.
Also, how can you not take care of a dog? Like,
well, and plus the only person you can talk to at this point. I mean, person, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, Homeboy was talking to mannequins, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, do you think he was?
He was not well.
Okay. Because, I could see myself, like, jokingly, like, talk to them, but do you think he was, like, really, like, doing this to...
After a point, I think he really thinks that they are there.
Yeah.
Because at one point, he goes into a video store and he asked the mannequin at the counter about another mannequin that's a woman in the back and if he knows who she is, but then he kind of dismisses it and then he talks to Sam about it later and says that he should say hello to her.
Yeah.
Oh,
buddy.
Honey.
It's kind of, yeah.
Also, the thing that gets me in the flashbacks is we see that since Robert is military, he gets, like, so much primary access to evacuate. And they're just pushing through hordes of people trying to, like, get tested to leave and stuff like that. And I felt bad for the one woman that had her child and she was begging them to take her kid with her.
Yeah.
But she was clearly infected. Like, she had, like, blood running out of her eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Yeah, and then another part, they bombed the, like, bridges, too.
Yeah.
So they're trying to contain it.
Oof.
Yeah, that was... Oh.
Especially, like, post-COVID and stuff like that. It's so much more relatable at this point. Not saying COVID people turned into vampires, but
you never know.
Right. I mean, knock on wood, give it 3 years.
Yeah.
But while hunting deer one day, Sam follows after one that flees into a dark building.
Sam.
Yeah.
No, Sam.
She just wants to be good girl for daddy. Like,
I know, but
she wants to go get some deer. Neville goes in after her, but finds the building infested with Darkseekers. They manage to escape unharmed, and the Darkseekers following after them are killed by the sunlight. Later on, Robert finds that a serum derived of his blood is working on one of the rat subjects, and sets out to capture a Darkseeker for human testing. He sets a snare trap and captures the female Darkseeker, and begins rounds of seemingly unsuccessful treatments on her.
Yeah, but once she's getting caught, you could tell the one Darkseeker in the doorway realized what was going on.
Yeah, and was pissed.
He was pissed. He was not happy, so you could kind of see those...
Like the cogs turning, yeah.
Yeah, unlike a zombie would not give a two shits
right.
if another zombie... It wouldn't even know.
And he kind of, like, goes home and reports that, too, like, in his diaries or something, that they're... He says that they're breaking down and becoming more feral because they were ignoring their instincts to stay away from the sun. But I don't know. I feel like they're still just as intelligent based on what happened.
Yeah, they were in the building. They were hiding in the building. Like, you did not see a single one run out and about.
Right. Like, as soon as they reach the doorway, they're like, nah, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm pissed at you.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
And your little dog, too. Literally.
No. So the next day, Robert is thrown into hysterics when he spots Fred the mannequin, who is usually in the video store positioned outside Grand Central Terminal, and shoots him repeatedly. And this is where I'm like, he definitely thinks that these are real people.
Yeah.
But something in his mind also tells him that they can only be in certain spots, I think. But
he's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing here, Fred?
Fred.
I'm gonna shoot you. Like,
how did he get there? They don't say. Do they? Did I miss it?
Well, he is then caught in a snare, and I'm assuming that the Darkseekers went out at night and grabbed Fred and brought him there.
You think so?
And set that trap because they saw him do a trap. So, like, they're cognitive enough to be like, this is how you set a trap to catch one of us. We can do the same thing to catch him.
That's really smart because they were right there as soon as it... Because I thought...
I don't know how they knew he talked to mannequins, but...
I don't know. That's a good point. I thought maybe he had said it and forgot kind of a thing, or like wasn't a...
That's why he was so thrown off, because he's used to seeing him in a very specific place.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't really say, like, how this happened.
That's what I assume, because the more I looked into it with the idea that they are actually thinking beings and aren't just prey-driven, the more I could see them kind of, like, working together as a team, and one of them's more, like, in charge and sending orders about.
Yeah.
In their own way.
Perhaps. Unless the other human we find later set it up. Probably not. You're probably right, but...
Yeah, I think it's really like they, like, cause and effect. Like, they saw him set up a trap to catch them, and he's like, we're
gonna do this.
Could replicate it.
I'm gonna go with that. I think that's a good theory.
Unless they're able to track him home in that one point.
Yeah, because it was already dark, though, so that's how they were able to find him.
True.
No, regardless, this mannequin somehow showed up there.
Right.
So I'm going to go with Dark Seekers.
Yes. So he shoots Fred the mannequin repeatedly, and then when he approaches the body, he can hear the rumblings of the Dark Seekers and is ensnared of a trap and goes into unconsciousness.
Because he hits his head?
Yeah, because he kind of like flips himself upside down because he's like caught by the ankle and his head hits the ground, I think.
Oh, okay.
So when he awakens, the sun is setting and the Dark Seekers send infected dogs after him and Sam.
I knew there were like infected animals just based on the mice, but this is the first time you like really see an infected animal.
Uh-huh.
No!
Yeah, not okay.
There's vampire dogs!
No, not okay.
No.
I didn't want it to be a possibility. No, thank you.
Yeah, now that we know that that's a thing, never again. Do not show anyone making a vampire story, novel, screenplay. Do not.
Right.
Do not.
It's off limits.
Do not touch the dog.
Yes. Dog is good.
Dog is good. It's
people are questionable.
Yeah, people, it's fine. You know what? There's so many people in this world.
It's whatever.
It's whatever. Most people probably deserve it. No, I'm just kidding. Am I? I don't know. But don't touch the dog.
Right.
Or the kitties. Or, like, honestly, any animal. Just leave them alone.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense, though, because early on when you see him hunting deer, like, there's actual lions, like, out hunting alongside him. And he's just like, what the? I guess this is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like New York has become so overgrown and stuff like that. It's just reverting back to the wilderness, basically.
Imagine a vampiric lion.
Oh.
Dead. Everyone's dead.
Dead.
The dogs, which we're about to find out, are enough.
Yeah.
Let alone a fucking lion.
Right.
Imagine a vampiric elephant.
Oh my god.
Its tusks just straighten out to fangs. It's like
that would be weird.
Fucking 3 foot long vampire fangs.
So Robert is able to break free of the trap and able to fight the dogs off and kill them, but Sam is bitten in the attack. He attempts to save her by injecting her with a serum, but as she starts to turn, he's forced to strangle her before she attacks him.
I think we had enough, Stephanie.
Yeah.
This episode's done.
Uh-huh.
So Sam's gone. She was turning and trying to bite him.
Yeah, he's holding her and he pulls out like a chunk of her fur because she's like
losing her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lose their hair.
Yeah, they look kind of like rats, so like giant rats.
The dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, but even like the people lose their hair. They're all bald.
True.
Which is, we did not talk about that, but that's a sign is you start losing your hair.
So yeah, and then she started to get kind of aggressive and...
Oh, that's a word for it. She was like trying to rip his throat out.
Uh-huh, and then he just strangles her to death.
At least they didn't show it.
Yeah.
They just showed his face struggling with it. So, if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, don't watch this movie.
Yes. So, angry and distraught, Robert sets himself on a suicide mission in his car, mowing down the Dark Seekers, literally yelling at them, just die! Or They are not so easily killed, though, and they soon overwhelm him, but he's saved by Anna and a young boy named Ethan, who are immune and have traveled from Maryland to meet him after hearing his broadcast.
So, after all that time, it worked.
Yeah.
Shows persistence.
It does.
Keep up, guys.
Yeah.
Whatever you're working on, working through, keep going.
Right. They bring him home to treat his injuries and explain that they survived the outbreak aboard a Red Cross evacuation ship from Sao Paulo and are making their way to a survivors camp in Bethel, Vermont. Robert argues that there's no such place, but Anna believes that God is trying to lead her there. Robert continues to try to cure the female Dark Seeker. In a last-ditch effort, he tries lowering her body temperature with ice to make the serum more potent.
Science.
Yeah. All we needed was ice.
Yeah, because it didn't work earlier. Like, didn't it for a second seem to have worked and then it just reverted back?
Yeah. I'm not a medical person, obviously.
I don't do the medical things.
Yeah. But I'm guessing that since she has, like, he was recording her temperature and it was higher than a normal person's. But I'm guessing her fever or whatever you want to call it, her temperature, might have burned through the serum.
Okay.
Or something, and that's why. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, any medical professionals out there, let us know how did any of this work.
How ice and giving them some of his blood is going to help.
I don't know.
Okay.
Just go with it.
All right. That night, it appears that the Dark Seekers have tracked them to his house and a horde invades. They seal themselves in a glass room where the female Dark Seeker is housed and discover the treatment was actually successful.
Hey!
Whee!
It worked.
Yes. However, they are surrounded by dark seekers as one male is trying to break the glass by ramming into it. Actually, like when I was going over wiki notes, because I sometimes like compare and contrast what I have for the plot compared to what they wrote down.
Yeah.
They defined him as the alpha male of the group.
The alpha?
Yeah, and I was like, maybe I could see that because when they're attacking him in the car, it looks like one is kind of like giving orders and sending them towards him.
Maybe it's a varying degree of of vampirism,
Maybe.
tendencies.
Maybe. In order to protect the cure, he draws a sample of the test subject's blood and gives it to Anna and Ethan before shutting them in an unused coal oven chute thing. He then sets off a grenade, killing himself and their attackers. The next day, we see that the camp in Vermont, it does exist, as Anna and Ethan arrive to present them with the cure, making Robert's work legendary.
Haha. And they were in this brand new car, untouched. Did you notice that?
I mean, he did have like a brand new red Corvette or something in the very beginning when he was chasing down the deer.
I guess, but when I first saw that scene, I thought that it was in the future.
Right.
Oh no, this was just like immediately after this. And it's like a brand new car, no scratches, no nothing. I'm like, where'd they get this car from?
The crazy thing is they got to Vermont so quickly, but when they came from Maryland to get him, it took so long in comparison. I mean, I guess I don't know when they heard the message.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like, he's been doing this broadcast for, like, we assume 3 years.
Yeah. I don't know. But, yeah, that's where the title I Am Legend comes from. He's legendary.
Legend.
Now, do you want to know about the alternative ending?
Yeah.
That is quite...
Does Sam live?
Oh, no. It takes place basically where they're in the glass thing still.
I don't care. If Sam doesn't live, I don't care.
Neville lives. Neville lives. So basically, there's like a butterfly pattern in the glass.
Oh, yeah.
Did that happen in the real ending, too? He's like, the butterfly.
Because his daughter keeps saying, like, look, Daddy's a butterfly every time.
Okay, I couldn't remember if that was in the actual ending or not, too. But anyways, saying that where it takes off, and he realizes somehow that the alpha guy is just trying to take back the female Darkseeker. So he opens the door, lets them come in, and the alpha guy basically just takes the female and they leave.
That's all? Really?
Yeah.
That's all they want?
They just wanted her back.
Wow.
So they leave him in the end.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Maybe if they make a sequel, that's how they'll...
Carry on.
Yeah, if Will Smith is in it, because that just, further shows the human side of them. Like, they just want her back, not just to kill.
Yeah.
So that's what happens in the alternate ending. Because, like, I don't know if you noticed when you went to go watch the movie, there were two versions. One said alternate ending.
Yeah, I did.
That's what that was.
Okay.
That's why I was curious. I'm like, I wonder which one she's going to watch. We'll find out when we talk about it.
I didn't, I was like, alternate endings aren't technically canon, so I was just like, I'll just watch the right.
Yeah, I figured you would, but I was you never know. Be like, oh, what's this?
I did click on it to see if that's the one you had to happen to rent, but no.
Plus, I watched the original one.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
You okay?
Yeah, just a lot.
You're sad.
Yeah, still sad about the dog.
Not Neville, not humankind. Just
you know what,
dog.
though? If they do bring him back in the sequel, they probably won't even let him live off the alternate ending. They'll probably just, bring him back for flashbacks or something.
You think so?
Some dumb shit.
Oh. You seem
feel
passionate. Yeah. You feel some type of way about the sequel of I Am Legend, which I wonder. I don't even know what it would be. Just them trying to distribute the cure.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Michael B. Jordan is the guy from the Black Panther movie, right?
Michael B. Jordan. I've never seen Black Panther. Still. I know. I want to.
He's very attractive as well.
Michael B. Jordan. Oh, is he the bad guy?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
He's very pretty.
I could say, yeah.
Okay, so, all right, if he's in the second one, I'll watch it.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be the main character. Oh, he didn't have a son. Never mind. I was like, what if it's a son? But he never had a son.
No,
He only had a daughter who freaking died. I love how we were so upset about the dog. And the 6-year-old girl. We're like, they died in a helicopter. Are we okay, Stephanie?
I don't think so. We're probably messed up, but the way they did the flashbacks so much, they basically just, painted little skulls over their faces, honestly.
Yeah, you knew what was happening, obviously, because they're not...
It's been 3 years. You have to assume,
Where are they?
Yeah. I don't think he'd stay away from them on purpose that long.
Right, exactly. So we knew. We had time to process. We didn't see the dog coming.
No. She was his only friend, Alex.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Well, let's talk about finding the cure for vampirism.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So, I didn't actually find any real lore on curing vampirism because of what I told you in the first episode. Typically, people thought that vampirism was what actual diseases were.
Yeah.
And usually people just died.
Yeah.
Or they killed them because they were afraid that they were vampires. So, the only comparison I can find to finding a cure is from other works of media. And let's start with Buffy. They try to make Angel human again.
Yeah, I don't remember how they did that.
Yeah.
I watched Buffy, but I don't remember.
I think it's Angel was in the spin-off.
Oh, the show. Oh.
Yeah.
That would explain it because I never watched
Buffy
Angel.
universe, I guess.
Yeah, the Buffy, what's Marvel's thing called? Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yes.
Buffy's Cinematic Universe.
So I guess according to a Shanshu prophecy, once a vampire with a soul fulfills his destiny, he will be restored to human form.
Oh, wait, I think I do remember that in the show because they go back in the past with the tribe people.
Yeah, and he somehow gets a woman pregnant and they see his son in the future or something. Like his son comes to their time.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's strange.
In this instance, he just has to fulfill a prophecy and then he's done?
Like a purpose of some sort, yeah, but it's very ambiguous.
They're like, okay, I'm done. So, like, unfinished business. Just kidding. We're not going to go there again.
But if I remember correctly, Angel kind of just ends on a cliff note, or not
a cliff note.
A cliff note.
Cliffhanger?
Yes. Angel ends on a cliffhanger, so you don't really know what happens to them or anything. It's just like a big explosion. That's the end of the season.
Are you serious?
Or the series, yeah.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it. Now I don't really
I watched a few episodes growing up. Like, I actually watched Angel before I watched Buffy.
Oh, okay.
I only started watching Buffy after I was dating Charlie.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And there is also another way to cure vampirism with the Supernatural series. And according to that, the cure is not foolproof or easy to make. It requires the blood of the vampire sire. So, the biter of the bitey.
The biter, okay.
Yeah. And for the new victim to not have yet drunk the blood of a living human.
Oh, so if they already drink blood of a human, they're donezo? It doesn't matter.
Not irreversible at that point.
Oh my god, that is like such a, like, I'm assuming as soon as you turn into a vampire, you're pretty hungry. Probably,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, shit, I need a cigarette. But in case.
Yeah, as far as my understanding of, like, the thirst and everything, it's very compelling to go and drink blood.
Yeah. That's shitty.
It's not just like, oh, I think I'll eat in a few hours.
Yeah.
It's more like the first thing you're gonna do.
Yeah. There's a chance I might turn back. No. You're not thinking that at that point.
Yeah. So I guess it's a very violent process, and the person will just, like, throw up a lot of blood and stuff if it does even work.
Oh, God. Could you die during it? Probably.
Probably. You can.
Oh, okay.
But that's really all I found on it. I'm sure there's other ways. There's a lot of ways in Skyrim, I guess, that people have talked about curing vampires, but that is a video game.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never actually been a vampire in Skyrim, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. Actually, no, I lied. I was a vampire once, and I just stopped playing that file because I was like, forget that.
Dumb.
Yeah, I just don't want to be a vampire.
Yeah.
And I was like, meh.
I think it loses its charm.
I'm sure really fast not being able to go outside. Dude, if I was a vampire, I love the sunlight. If it could be sunny 24/7, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
If I could not be out in the sun, I would voluntarily go out in the sun and kill myself. I'd be like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
I get that seasonal depression mostly because it gets dark so early.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine? Could you live in the dark all the time?
I would just hope I became one of the vampires that can go out in the sunlight.
That is fair. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting that those versions exist.
Yeah. What if I was just sparkly?
I'd be like, yeah! Well,
I have arrived.
I guess I still wouldn't want to drink blood, but I guess being sparkly isn't the worst of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just don't
Just an aesthetic.
I look fierce.
I don't know.
So, as far as curing people in I Am Legend, we got crumbs. We got nothing.
Right.
It's just a thing that happened somehow.
Yeah, so God forbid if this ever happens to us or whatever, like, it's not like he just gave us an instruction manual on how to do it.
Yeah.
Apparently we need ice.
This fictional character did not tell us how to cure a potential real-life vampiric pandemic
Yes.
post-apocalyptic situation.
Right.
Richard Matheson, who wrote the book. Excuse me, what do you mean you didn't know the exact science? They don't really tell you. They're just like, I use my blood and some serum, and there you go. So it's not like a supernatural kind of vampires, is it? Back to like what real, quote unquote, real vampires were.
Yeah. Also, the thing that confuses me is how he was immune at this point. How are they immune?
I think it's just like a natural immunity.
Like a luck of the draw at this point?
Yeah.
Because they weren't originally. They weren't all immune. Well, the few that survived were immune, apparently. But.
Yeah, I was going to say they wouldn't know if they were immune unless they got bit. And then either you turn or you don't, and then you find out if you're immune.
Right, it's not like COVID and you're down for 2 weeks and then you just go back.
Fine. Yeah. What if you like started turning and then it was like reverse? And like, oh, never mind. You lost all your hair at that point.
Oh, God.
What if you couldn't grow your hair? Everyone, oh my God. This is what happens, okay? They cure everyone. They're human again, but they can no longer grow hair. So now what's going to happen? Fast forward. Wait a minute. Can they procreate again? Saying they can procreate again.
Just a bunch of bald people.
Just all these bald people.
Yeah.
And it creates a societal divide. Like, you're a descendant of the Darkseekers. That might be cool.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, descendant of the
Darkseeker. Yeah.
And you wonder if they would rise to power, though, because they have the majority, and then the people that are immune are the minority at that point.
Yeah. And also, what if they keep their strength and stuff? Like, what if their side effects and stuff? We just wrote the damn sequel stuff.
Right, we got it. High five.
This is we
just
we
call us. We're ready. Like
we wrote the sequel to Dark Shadows.
Yeah,
This is part of the show now. We just got to make the sequel to all these movies.
Well, yeah, exactly. We're ready whenever they can call us. I'd be very willing to quit my job and go work on a set.
Yeah, all we do is consult for 5 minutes. This is what you need to do.
Yeah. Okay. Where's my trailer?
That'd be sick. Just making sequels to movies.
Yes.
Sounds like a perfect job.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other thoughts you had about The Cure or I Am Legend as a whole?
No, I think I'm good.
You liked it though? No?
I wouldn't watch it again.
Just because it makes you sad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie does call it I Am Sad.
It's fair. Yeah, it's not a happy-go-lucky movie. It's a well-made movie.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot happens, in my opinion. But, once you see it.
Yeah, I mean, Will Smith does the best that he can, working basically by himself the whole time.
Yeah, I think he does a great job.
Yeah.
The dog's a star, but he does a good job.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was billed before him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was the first person they cast, actually. This dog was cast back in 1995.
Oh, God.
When they started. This dog's like 20 years old.
She's like, we're ready? Okay.
Are we going to do this or not? Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful, and we will always appreciate it.
You can find us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next sleep.
And make sure you eat some pasta, because garlic is yummy.
And you'll be safe from vampires.
For sure.
For sure. Okay, bye.
Bye.